rock.
So, do I address you as WashParkMusic or as Keaton?
You can address me as Keaton.
Okay.
That's totally fine.
So, this is Keaton of WashParkMusic.
Yes.
What made you come up with that name?
Well,
You don't live in Wash Park, you live in Castle Pines.
I don't. There's, I don't know, there's kind
I'm
of
gonna
a
shut the
few.
door real quick.
Okay, no worries. I came up with the name Wash Park when I was driving through Wash Park one day. And my fiance and I, we were driving up to the mountains. And I wanted to start like a music project. And I didn't really want it to be under my own name.
Yeah.
Because I don't really write like singer-songwriter music.
Yeah.
I write a lot more like band-focused central music.
Yeah.
And Wash Park was just where I was driving, and it seemed like a band name that would fit.
Oh,
And I don't know, now that I've like been Wash Park for a little bit, I feel like there's like other meanings that people have come up with besides like I used to play for a church.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I used to play guitar for Red Rocks Church, and so everyone there is like, so is it like Wash Park as in like renewal of your sins type of thing?
I didn't even think of that. I just thought about Wash Park.
Right, and I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, whatever people want it to be, it can be.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's how you came up with the name.
I came up with the name by driving through Wash Park and trying to think of a band name that, like,
Band names are fucking hard, dude.
it's not easy. And when
How
I
do
was
you think I've run with the backseat for 10 years?
right, and I know so many bands that like have to drop like letters in their name.
Oh yeah, everyone's like dropping vowels and shit. Like minimalist?
Minimalist.
Yeah.
The Broken.
Oh yeah, the Broken. I forgot about that. Mike Bokenkamp's band. Yeah, and then John Bella and I started talking about how he's going to be on the podcast too. So that's going to be tight.
I mean, even Blueprint. We dropped the E in Blueprint.
Oh yeah, that's
So, like,
right.
I mean, there's so many bands that like drop letters just to make it whatever. And I remember like when I was playing shows with Blueprint.
Makes it easier to Google.
Right. I mean, they're like, what's your band name? And I'm like, Blueprint with no E. And they're like, they have to think, they're like, what? There's an E in Blueprint?
Yeah. Oh, imagine me explaining the backseaters to people. Like, everyone wants to make it like 2 words, and like, a lot of people think it's backseaters.
Right.
Yeah.
So so Wash Park was like,
I like it. I love that name.
Thank you. Part of the like thinking behind it. I'm a person that likes to, or doesn't like to, it just happens to like overanalyze and overthink things. So even just thinking about like telling people my band name, like I just want it to be something that kind of rolls off the tongue, is something that is somewhat meaningful. My fiance grew up in the Wash Park area, or not grew up, she grew up in California, but she moved to Colorado.
Dude, that's fucking rad.
And lived in the Wash Park area for most of her time here in Colorado. So, as well as another tidbit about Wash Park is this project started when I wrote a love song to my fiance.
Yeah.
And that's the first song that I released. It's called My Best.
Okay.
And so
Is it
part
on
of
like
the
Spotify and everything?
it is, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that was the first single I released, and I didn't do any sort of like promotion with it. I literally just put it out like, hey, happy Valentine's Day. I'm gonna release this song that I wrote for you.
Hell
And that's kind of how the project began.
yeah. Nice.
So the name Wash Park is really fitting because it's where she, spent her time in Colorado.
You know, I don't want to say it. I don't know how else do I say cute without saying cute. Like it's very much like, oh man,
Yeah.
it's the heartstrings. Yeah, but for those who didn't hear the Blueprint podcast and stuff, like, you want to tell everybody how you got into music and
Sure.
how you got into being a shredder?
Shredder. Oh my gosh, I won't say that.
He's not, okay, for the listeners, he's not like a shredder. It's very tasteful. Like well, he's going to tell you he's a drum here, man. So it's very tasteful. It's not like,
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go there. It's very rock and roll, but yeah.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, you know?
I guess I started in music when I was like 6 years old. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Alright, hopefully you guys can hear me now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's better. I
I
started
that beautiful voice, you know what I'm saying?
working on that voice. I started in music when I was like 6 years old. My dad was really into like 80s rock, like hair metal rock, like Poison.
Here I am, rock you like a hurricane.
Something like that for
all night
sure.
long.
Yeah, like Top
Oh, yeah.
30 to Me, Poison, Van Halen.
Big fan.
But the actual band that got me wanting to play guitar was Guns N' Roses. And I feel like that's everybody's like, I want to learn Sweet Child of Mine. And that was actually the first song I walked into my first guitar lesson. And I'm like, I want to learn Sweet Child of Mine.
Yeah.
And it's not the easiest thing to learn, but it's also not the hardest thing to learn. But my
Let him
teacher.
out real quick.
Okay.
Sorry, there's
We got a visitor.
Mr. Gucci.
We got a
who's
visitor.
watching the podcast, but I think he's over it. So
He was into it, and then he's not so much anymore.
Yeah, that's okay. But yeah,
Yeah, so I walked into my first guitar lesson and I told my guitar teacher, his name was Rob Solomon. His name is Rob Solomon, he's not dead.
No, was bro.
He didn't change it, he's not dead, he's still alive. His name is Rob Solomon, he's amazing. And he's like, okay, give me a few months to teach you how to play that. Like, we're gonna do some Green Day first, we're gonna like teach you how to play power chords, but I wanna get you there. And I think I earned his respect when I walked in and said, I wanna play a really hard guitar song.
Yeah.
Because at the time, that was like when Taylor Swift was coming up, when Justin Bieber's like Baby came out. And like, I
So
feel
you
like
come in, you're like, I mean, even like the whole Green Day thing, like you didn't go in, like my objective was to play Travis Barker. I wanted to play Travis Barker and Aaron Gillespie from Monroe.
that's amazing.
Like those were the two drummers that I was like, I want to play these songs, I want to learn how to play like them. So yeah, you went in hard for your first lesson.
I did. And I think a lot of his students wanted to learn more of the like contemporary pop singer-songwriter stuff. So walking in saying like Guns N' Roses was like, I caught his attention.
Yeah. Oh
But after that, I took lessons for many years, and Blueprint was actually my first band I ever joined.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
I remember you're a little bit younger than me.
Yeah, I'm 23.
Yeah, I'm 28.
Okay.
Have you noticed the grays? Gotten really hardcore lately.
It looks good, man. I like the salt and pepper.
I'm going for that Clooney look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you make it look young.
Yeah.
As in, like, you don't, it doesn't make you look old, you make the look young.
Dude, that is the best fucking compliment I've ever heard. I love that. Hell yeah.
Have you ever listened to the band Colony House?
It sounds really familiar.
Okay. So,
Are they from here or no?
they're from Nashville.
Okay.
Their guitar player's name is Scotty, and he went full gray at like the age of 20. Like full gray. And it looks good on him. It looks really good. And like people see him and they're like, it's gray. I don't know how old you are. Like, are you like 30? And he's like, no, I'm like 20.
That is the best way I've heard that put. Oh, that makes me feel so much better about it.
It's awesome.
Oh,
It
hell
looks
yeah.
really good on you though.
Have you, so speaking of Nashville music, have you ever heard of a band called Nightly?
I've heard of them. I haven't listened to them.
Oh, they're, you know, they're super poppy and they're kind of, well, they started out as being like semi 1975-ish, but then, I mean, them and the band Camino, also from Nashville, like they've, it's crazy how the 1975 like changed the game on pop music.
Yeah.
Like it's insane, but
I feel like there are, like, when the 1975 came out, like, it's so funny because if you listen to their interviews, they're like, yeah, our influence is like the Talking Heads and like real great 80s music.
yes.
And then like now when you like look at bands that are up and coming, they're like, what are your influence? And it's like the 1975.
Oh yeah.
So it's something that I haven't seen necessarily very much, but it's cool seeing this like generational,
yeah.
like music is generational. I can't speak today. Generationally building on itself.
Yeah.
You know, in the sense that like the Talking Heads were inspired by the Beatles. And I mean, it's like the Beatles, the Talking Heads to the 1975, now to all these new bands.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to see how, you know, one band can dramatically influence not only the next generation of bands, but the entire music scene in general.
Well, and you and I are probably different from most people because, like, when we hear artists, I don't just stop at that artist. Like, I want to hear their influences and I want to understand it. Like, I mean, the Gaslight Anthem, I started with that, and then that led to Tom Petty and Bruce Springsteen, and that, you know what I mean? Like, learning that old rock and roll and shit. But, yeah, you want to hear. So I watched the Talking Heads, like documentary thing, or I listened to a podcast, I think, I don't know, but you know, that song, the song they have that says like, same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was. Yeah, is that, oh my goodness.
As the days go by, and the water exactly. So the funny thing about that, like the thing I respect about that band is they're very, like, they see their music too. And he got the idea, like, the way he was like, you are not my wife, this is not my house.
Right.
He got that from, he was watching like a late night, like one of those mega church things, and he was watching the preacher, and he thought like there was beauty in that, so that's why he's saying it that way.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
that's a funny little anecdote that I love bringing up.
Right.
But how did you get into John Mayer?
Oh man, I
When
found.
did that start?
How did I get into
Big
John
jump
Mayer?
from Sweet Child of Mine to Gravity.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. So I think my music progression has. I don't know how this happened, but it went from like 80s rock, like my dad's stuff, because, you know, I was a kid and I'm like, yeah, I want to listen to what my dad thinks because my dad's awesome.
See, my dad listened to gangster rap. I don't know how you know, okay, quick anecdote, just sorry to cut you off. So the way I found Blink-182 is my dad used to throw papers for the Denver Post, and he used to just like see like shit that people would throw away, and somebody threw away a whole CD case, and he went, ugh, Blink-182, and handed me the CD, changed my fucking life.
Wow, I'm surprised if he was like, this sucks, and he gives it to you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then he took me to my first Blink-182 concert.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, tables turn. Anyway,
That's awesome. No, I started with like what my dad listened to. I thought it was awesome, and then I wanted to listen to stuff that was a little bit like faster and upbeat.
yeah.
And so I don't know how I got into Blink-182. I think I saw like back before Viral was a thing.
Yeah.
But their naked music video.
Oh, What's My Age Again?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I think that was like before the term viral was coined. And but they were like blown up on the internet because of that video specifically. Like no one has ever made a video of just guys running naked in the middle of downtown LA.
No.
And so I listened to that and I'm like, this is awesome. So I got more into that. And
I loved all the Small Things video where they're making fun of all the white bands. Oh, that's one of my favorites for sure.
So I think it was like the progression was 80s rock to Green Day, and then from Green Day into the Blink-182 stuff, and then for some reason I think like it was one of my guitar teachers or something that wanted to show me like a Stevie Ray Vaughan thing, and I like went down that rabbit hole of just like listening to blues, and like I'm like, this is awesome. This is like really cool guitar stuff, like really amazing soulful playing.
Yeah.
And
it like swings, but also has like a staccato to it. Like it goes, right, right, right.
Like the Texas twang mixed with rock and blues.
Oh yeah.
And so I started listening to Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then obviously as I'm growing up, John Mayer is also progressing as an artist.
So what year would you say this is?
This is probably like 2013. When I'm like about to go into
so that's Paradise Valley.
Right.
Yeah, that's that era.
But that's like when Continuum was
Paper
like,
Doll, dude. Paper fucking Doll.
Paper Doll's good. And that's when that stuff was being released.
Yeah.
But that was like also when Continuum was like starting to get its music legacy.
Yeah.
Like everyone knew when that album came out. Like it was an amazing album. But as time went on, it got like this like timeless album. Like John Mayer's #1 songs were like Slow Dancing in a Burning Room, Gravity,
all the songs I have.
Vultures.
Oh, dude, Vultures. So, okay, another quick anecdote. When I would try out drummers, that was the song I was able to learn, because there's like the way Steve Jordan plays is you can't just be like.
It's not melodic at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's that would be my test. Yeah.
It's you have to know how to play in the pocket. And John Mayer, oh man, all of, like if you ever watch his like when I listen to an artist, I listen to everything and watch all of their interviews.
Like every single interview.
Like no joke, for months I'm like obsessed with one thing, and then I'll move on to the next thing. And then
The only reason I keep looking at this is I keep looking at the computer to make sure it's still recording.
I don't.
That's all. And it's not like I'm like, how much time we got?
You're good.
Yeah, no.
But one of John Mayer's interviews, or it's not an interview, he's like teaching at Berklee College of Music.
Yep,
And
I know that interview.
Right, he says like one thing that really makes a drummer, like you can go up, you can play all those crazy fills, but like also knowing your spot, not necessarily in the mix, but just in the terms of your band. You know, like if you're like, obviously when you're playing like Blink-182 stuff, you're gonna have to go full force, 100%.
Yeah.
But when you can slow down and really just go, and really hold that groove,
Because it's not about you, it's about the band.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have learned so much from that, especially me being a band musician. As in, I write, record, do everything myself. Just knowing how things should fit together. Because I feel like me as a guitar player, like me growing up, I'm like, I just want to blow people away with my guitar playing. You know? And like even
I've been a showboat my whole life.
Yeah. You're like playing with the band and you're like, I just want to tell people I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, and you just have that in your head, like you're performing obviously, but you're just like, I just want to embellish just a little bit more today.
Like how hard I've been working.
Right.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's very distracting. And I used to do MDing, which is music directing for the Red Rocks Church thing. And when I did that, I really had to learn how I should play and how other people should play.
Oh yeah, because that's definitely like playing in the church. Like I've done it a couple times. Like that, it's not about you.
No.
That's like the big thing you gotta learn. Yeah. For me, it was jazz band. That like playing in jazz band in high school. That's what taught me like you're accentuating. Like yeah, they have drum solos, but like you also accentuate, like when you figure out like this accents that the saxophone player is doing, you want to hit those like, you know what I mean? Like once it becomes not about you, like that's, I feel like that's a really good musician.
It's definitely a learning curve, and you have to get to that point. Like when you're a musician, there's a point where it's like, okay, I'm done trying to prove myself. I'm here to serve the music and serve the band. And
I've said the same thing.
right.
Yeah.
So, and that's just a place I think every musician gets to at some point.
Well, it's also a lot of trust, like trusting that we're all on the same page, like, and really building that, like in the backseaters, like me and Colton and David, like so I was telling my girlfriend about when we used to play shows, and sometimes we'd hit the bridge and I just stopped playing. And there was one show we played where I went up and I sat on the monitor and I just looked at everybody and I took a moment and like they trusted me full force.
That's
That I would let them know when we're coming back in, you know what I mean? Or I just like play with my pedals and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of trust that goes into playing in a band.
Yeah.
And trusting that, you know, we're all on the same page and stuff like that.
It's funny that you mentioned like the trust thing, because when I played with Blueprint, like we played with backing tracks. And it was awesome. Like I loved it because it kept us all like on par with each other.
Yeah.
And it kept us all in line, like, okay, here's where we're supposed to be.
It sounds way better in in-ears than it does live sometimes, though.
Sure.
Like you're hearing it in your in-ears and you're like, hell yeah.
But I wanted that to be like the precursor to what I'm about to say. And I've learned that backing tracks are great, but you need that almost like reflection period as a band and as an audience. One thing, like, okay, so Mr. Rogers is one of my biggest influences as a human being.
That movie, I think Tom Hanks really pulled that off.
He
Really
did,
well.
he did. But Mr. Rogers himself is a
Yeah.
big influence on me. And a quote he always used to say is, he worked in TV, right?
Yeah.
So he's up, like, sharing his, show, doing all this stuff. And it's almost the same way like we do as musicians. We go up and we perform and we put out content and we do stuff.
Yeah.
But his biggest thing is, how do we encourage reflection? Like, because there's so much noise in this world with music, podcasts, advertisements, TV shows. Everyone's trying to sell you something.
But you know that's always been
Right.
my goal in my podcast. But anyway, yeah, they're always trying to sell you something.
Everyone, it's everywhere. But he's like, in TV, how do we encourage reflection? How do we encourage people to really just take some time for silence and being able to just take a breather? And one thing I've noticed in the band thing is a great way to just enjoy the music is to just jam as a band, or just to like feel things out. So when you said you take a break from the drums and literally went and sat and you trust.
Well, this is backseater, so I was playing guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Gotcha.
and I mean, even if you're hitting just like, that wouldn't even be whole notes, like just ringing a note out and hitting like some pedal that, like a sustain pedal,
Right.
and just letting it fucking die. That's my biggest thing live that I love to do is like making it so quiet, because like obviously, you know, when you're on stage, like you can see more than people think you can see.
Oh, yeah.
So you see people talking, but once you hit that, like you do a bill, and then you drop it to the quietest thing you can, people go like this. They just turn their head and they're like, huh?
Right. They start paying attention and they start, I don't know, it's just like almost like an appreciation moment.
Oh yeah, dynamics are something I appreciate the fuck out of for sure. But yeah, I think Mr. Rogers too, I never really thought about it until just now, but like the way he talked and his like calm, and it was about reflection, thinking about like, yeah, he was big on just life, and I feel like the way he talked was perfect. Like he enunciated everything. It was slow. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know this, but every word he said on his show was scripted.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it scripted by him or somebody else?
Him. He wrote the entire thing. He
Oh,
wrote
okay.
all the music, scripted the whole thing. Yeah, no. But scripted in the sense that like he cares so much about what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Like literally every single word he said was like planned out. But when you watch the show, it's like this is coming from this man's heart. Like this
Yeah.
is coming directly from him. This does not feel scripted
Yeah.
at all. But he just cares so much about wording things so well and
Yeah.
exactly what he wants to say that he would script the entire show and do it that way.
And I'm sure it might be like, doing a podcast. Like, obviously, I make notes. Have I opened this notebook once?
Well,
No.
you need to have like a direction.
Yeah, but I'm sure he went like a little off script. Like, it's good to have like little notes. You know what I mean? Like, if he just had someone who had like a big, whiteboard or whatever that had like the certain bullet points, like that's how I do it. Like, I don't write out every single question. Like, sometimes it's just like, perfect lead-in.
Right. I'm not sure if he had it word for word, but he definitely like had a plan for the like sentences
Oh,
he
yeah.
wanted to have in there for sure.
Oh yeah, like specific quotes.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And that's been a big influence on me, and it's really
That's
made
the
me-
coolest fucking thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's rad.
So it's really made me reflect on what I do as an artist, and I feel like me putting out, it's been the difference between me putting out like 10 songs versus putting out the 3 songs I have out right now,
Yeah.
is because I've really just tried to care about every single word that I'm trying to say. And it reminds me of a quote from John Foreman from Switchfoot.
His solo stuff. Oh, Caroline.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so. Oh,
Dude, John
even
Foreman-
thinking about it, like gives me chills. Like, oh.
I saw Switchfoot live with Colony House, the band I was talking about, and Tyson Motzenbacher was the opening act.
That one I don't.
He's funny. He's like, man, he's awesome. He writes really heartfelt, sad songs, but on stage he's the like goofiest guy ever.
Yeah.
He's like telling jokes the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
time.
That's like Rustin Kelly. Like that dude. So his whole thing is dirt emo.
Okay.
Like it's country-ish, but he plays like Blink-182 songs and like Teenage Dirtbag and yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But John Foreman, he told Tyson Motzenbacher this. Or Tyson was saying it that John told him this, and Tyson said, "John told me if you're given a microphone, say something important."
Oh yeah, for real.
And just in the context of how I feel as an artist, how other people feel, like if you're given a microphone or you build that microphone for yourself, make sure to say something important. And that's really how I've been feeling about music, is just taking it slow and putting out, one song at a time, but making it important to me and making it the way that I want it to be, instead of just writing a bunch of songs about nothing and putting them out.
Yeah. I think the whole EP thing definitely is about putting out music fast, but I think that's why some artists have had like big success about just putting out singles. Like they work on a single, they work really hard, and then they put out the single in a music video, and you know what I mean, do it intentionally. Like a lot of musicians are, I don't know if I can speak for them, but I can speak for them. They're not intentional. You know what I mean?
And I can only speak for myself.
But like catchy is fun. Like the songs that I've written that are catchy, like I don't write it thinking like, oh yeah, people are gonna dig this.
Yeah.
It's like it just kind of happens.
You have to write it for yourself, almost.
Oh yeah, and that's every single Backseater song I've ever written, I've shown Jamie, my girlfriend, all of them have a story.
Yeah.
Every single one has a story or,
Yeah.
means something. So
It's awesome.
I really respect that you're doing it the way you're doing.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and eventually I want to put out just like a pop song that is about nothing. Like I just want to.
Can I play drums on it?
Yes. Like I just want to write a fun song about absolutely nothing because I respect the idea of just writing music for fun.
Yes.
And like to make a statement about that of just like I'm gonna write a song about absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna be a fun song. That's where I want to be one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the cool thing about like pop music and like this goes back to John Mayer too. Like, yeah, you have your body as a wonderland, but also he can, he can do whatever he wants with that song live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It catches you, you go to the show, and then you really get to see what he's about.
Right.
Have you ever like watched him or seen him with Dead and Company?
Yes, I've seen Dead and Company 3 times, and I've seen John Mayer solo twice.
Okay.
As in, not solo, but like with his
Yeah.
band and everything.
Yeah, I've seen him once in 2013
Yeah.
at Red Rocks, and then
I love how you remember that I love John Mayer because that's like definitely one of the biggest people that, helped me get to where I'm at musically.
Yeah, I feel like even, you and I, the first podcast we ever did, when you were with Blueprint, like, you and I have stayed friends, like, we've always talked, like, supported each other's stuff, so, but yeah, Dead and Company, the thing I love, because, like, obviously, John Mayer, very tasteful guitar player.
Yeah.
Like watching him play Neon by himself, like he can get into some crazy fucking shit.
Well, like acoustic drum. That's and then singing on top of that. It's so crazy.
Well, it's kind of like, real quick anecdote. Them playing, so I didn't get to see them at Red Rocks when they came last October, but watching the video of them playing Bertha, like I love that he takes a step back, you know what I mean? Like he gets the whole band thing too,
right?
And I think like playing with those guys has really,
it's definitely changed. Or not changed, but it's definitely, he's had to learn. And I remember watching another, like I said, I watch all of John Mayer's interviews because I was obsessed with him.
I love the interview with him and Bob Weir, where he talks about how he learned to like.
Well, there was this one, it was literally like, if you try and search for this video, you're not going to find it because it has like 10 views. It's like John Mayer somehow got on some webinar call with like 2 other people, and it's like a Zoom meeting. And John Mayer's like,
is it for the Comes a Time podcast? Was it for that podcast?
I don't know.
Because he's done,
But he basically said he has to like play in context of Jerry, but he doesn't want to be limited by Jerry Garcia. He wants to not only like respect Jerry's contribution to the Dead, but also take it a step further and not just repeat everything Jerry did, but play in the context of Jerry and kind of think in the mind of like, what would Jerry do in this situation if we were given these chords?
If he was here right now, not something he heard on a live album.
Right, not like an imitation of what he did back in the 70s, but like, if Jerry was here today and next to me playing guitar, like what do we think he would play?
Oh yeah.
And I just thought that was a really cool way to look at it because, there was a point in time where I wanted to be B.B. King.
Yeah.
I was like, I want that exact Gibson. I want that exact amp. I want these exact pedals. I want to play The Thrill Is Gone every show my entire life.
And
Did you want to sit down and play like him too?
when I get to that age, I would. There was a point in time, and I almost felt like limited by that.
Yeah.
You know, it was like I was so obsessed with, you know, everything he was doing that I wasn't like keeping in mind context for who I am as a player.
Yeah.
Like the thing is like, I'm never gonna be B.B. King no matter how hard I try. And you're never gonna be B.B. King no matter how hard.
I'm never gonna be Travis Barker.
You're never gonna be Travis Barker. Exactly,
But because that's why, like, I mean, you got Travis Barker, but then my appreciation for Steve Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but also at the same time, there's only one B.B. King that's ever lived.
mhm.
There's only one Jay Cook that's ever lived. And there's only one Jay Cook that there will ever be.
Yes.
So,
You gas me up right now.
dude, I'm just saying, like, we're all unique.
Yeah.
We all have our own voice. We all, like, we can be influenced by people, and that's amazing. Like, I'm influenced by so many people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also need to think about who I am and who I want to be and where I want to go. And
It's almost, do you almost feel like you don't actually like think about it? Like you don't, like I reflect all the time, but also like I just catch myself, because I'm very big on like snapshot moments.
yeah.
And like when you're like truly happy and everything, you just like stop and you look around, like you take a snapshot. Like,
Absolutely. No, and if you think too much, I think it's almost hurtful. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Because like, here's the thing, there's I can't remember who said this, but there's something called a happiness paradox.
I've never
And
heard of it.
it's very similar to this quote about life, and it's like, if you keep searching for the meaning of life, you're never gonna live yourself.
No.
Because you're so obsessed with finding meaning that you're never gonna actually be present and enjoy. And it's the same with happiness. If you keep searching for things that are gonna, you know, maybe this will bring me joy, maybe this will make me happy, you know? And if you're so obsessed with that question, then you're never gonna actually enjoy what you're doing right now.
No, because you always think you have a hole in you.
Yeah, like if I was so focused right now on like, oh, I'm gonna be on this guy's podcast tomorrow,
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna enjoy this podcast where I'm at with you right now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, what am I gonna say here? No, I need to enjoy where I'm at and exactly do what I'm doing. So, in terms of snapshot moments,
Yeah.
you have to be present, and you have to be present with yourself. Absolutely. But I also think reflection is a big part of, you know, figuring out who you want to be.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, who you want to be, and also like I strive to be a better person every day, but like I notice like that's my goal, and that's something I've thought about, so it just kind of happens naturally, like you're talking about, you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to overdo it and be fucking annoying about it, but yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I love that for sure.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you about moving to California.
Moving to California.
How long were you in California again? And what part of California?
Well, I never moved to California.
You guys were just
but
there for a while?
We visit very frequently. So,
Oh, I thought you moved to California.
some people think that. And
Yeah.
usually I just take a lot of pictures while we're there. And then sometimes
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah.
post a picture of when I was there.
Read the captions, people. I guess I fucked up on that one.
It's all good. No, my fiance grew up there, and she's got so much family out there that we just go visit, as well as Nevada, which is like the Lake Tahoe area, which is like
Yeah, yeah.
Nevada and California.
Yeah.
So
Like right on the border.
between the trips to California and the trips to Nevada, like even when I'm in like technically what's Nevada of Lake Tahoe, my phone thinks I'm in California.
Yeah.
So even if I like post a picture, it'll say California,
Yeah.
but I'm actually in Nevada. But no, we're just there for we're just there to visit family usually and have a good time. I did, however, before I joined Blueprint, move to Michigan for a year.
And like, that sounds familiar, but
Yeah.
you should talk about that.
It's okay. It was a point in time where before I moved there, that I worked at a music store,
Yeah.
and I was repairing a lot of guitars and guitar amps,
Yeah.
and I fell in love with just like working with electronics and playing with it. So I got a job out in Michigan, and I moved out there for that job doing what was called electronics engineering, but it was literally just like on an assembly line, soldering like wires all day, and then it was like, here's one part, finish it, same part, do it again, same part, do it again. And it was, you know, for me at the age of 18, very ambitious young man,
Yeah.
and wanting to be a musician and make a big name for myself. That was a very soul-crushing job. Just doing the same repetitive task over and over again. And now I feel like where I'm at, I feel like that could be very meditative and just like doing the same thing every day. But at 18 years old, it was not the thing for me. And as a result of that, I moved back. So it was a very short trip.
Yeah. I mean, you strike me as the type of person though that would, like, you like to work on one guitar at a time, like really see the inner workings of it, like see everything about it. Like, you seem like that kind of person as opposed to somebody who just does their one little thing and passes it on.
Well,
You know?
I find
Like, you have a passion for the fucking guitar. Like,
Thanks, man.
say your Instagrams real quick, or Instagram, you know, just so everybody knows, like, it's something to behold, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think I got rid of a lot of those guitar videos. Just for the sake, I know, I'm sorry, but it's for the sake of.
I mean, people are gonna check out the music anyway, so they'll hear
Well, I
it.
have this internal battle of I don't want to be an advertisement, and it's kind of like the thing about noise and reflection.
As we're sitting here with the liquid death facing the camera.
It's great. I love it. And we have to do what we have to do as artists to like get our name out there. And we have to like drink our liquid
Crack
death.
in a cold one with the boy.
With the boy.
With the boy.
But at the same time, I haven't played any shows and I haven't released any merch for the sake of I want there to be a need for it. Like, I want people to be like, hey, I want to see you live.
Yeah.
Come to my city and I will come and see you. Rather than me showing up to a city and being like, hey guys, buy my tickets, come see my show. You know?
That's a hard, I mean, and especially for like bands who don't promote enough, you know what I mean? Because like you can, what do they call it? Boost posts. You know what I mean? You can select cities.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the artists who are, you know, their main objective is touring, like they probably target posts to like those cities and stuff.
And
But I get what you're saying. There's a difference between playing to 1,000 people who don't give a shit and like 50 people who desire your music and want to see you live.
Right.
So,
And just again, like we live in a society that's so wrapped up in numbers. Like whether it's number of
views,
views, people that come to your show, the amount of money you're making, like numbers are everywhere. Like
statistics.
Right, and that's kind of. I started this project writing a love song for my fiance. Like it started out of this like I want to write a song for you. And as a present, I will put it out. And if other people like it, they can listen to it. And that's kind of been my, I guess, philosophy with writing music in general is like, I don't really care how many people like it, as long as there's people that, you know, are impacted by it and that do like it. You know, even if it's just one person that's like, I love your music. You know, and I'm growing up to the point where it's like, I don't need, or I can make a lot more money working
Yeah.
than I can playing shows.
Yeah.
Like I can work, like I'm a bartender right now. Like I can work a night as a bartender and make a lot more money than I can if I went and played a show at, you know, Lost Lake
get free
and,
drinks.
right. And then after, it's all good. I work at the Bird House in Castle Pines, so it's like an hour from here.
Right on.
But,
Road.
and that's why I haven't really played shows, is because like I, one, won't be doing it for the money
Yeah.
to start. And two, I want people to want to come and see me and
Yeah.
ask to see my shows. And if no one asks, then I probably won't play a show.
I mean, I feel like a lot of bands do that when they go on tour too, is they like look up local artists and then they're like, you know, they really want to put that person on, so.
And promotion's a big thing, to make it anywhere. So that's kind of where my battle's been in my head of
Yeah.
like, I want to, you know, I obviously want to be a musician, and the more people that listen to me, like, will allow me to make more music, and it'll allow me to do more things.
I can tell you right now, because I did a podcast with the dude who does the official Oasis podcast.
Yeah.
A lot of listeners in the UK. So you might get a spike in your streams in the UK for sure.
That's so funny that you mentioned that. A lot of people that do listen to me on Spotify, Apple Music, and
Yeah.
YouTube are in the UK specifically.
Oh, that's
Like,
somebody might listen to this and be like, I know who the fuck that is.
I'm not joking. I have more listeners, fans, whatever you want to call them, friends,
Yeah.
out in the UK than I do in the States.
Have you ever been like over to the UK?
I went there on a family vacation once. But the reason for it, I think, is a little tidbit for small bands. This is actually a big promotional tool.
Please share any of those too, because
So-
we both know that like.
Yeah. So on YouTube, there's a YouTuber. His name is Colin Furs. He's an engineer. He builds like so many just amazing devices. Like he built like the world's largest real life size like Star Wars fighter machine. And he's built like ridiculous like catapults. He's built jetpacks. He's built like flying bicycles. He's just so many amazing random stuff.
Yeah.
And currently he's working on this like underground tunnel from his garage to his house.
Yeah.
He's like, just for fun, instead of walking to my house, I'm gonna dig this tunnel in the middle of my garage and then come up in my pantry. So that's pretty bad. But Colin Firth, the reason I brought him up is in the description of all his videos, he's always looking for musicians.
Yeah.
And in all of his videos, he plays his listeners' music. So you can just email him your songs, and as long as like they're not going to get copyright on YouTube. So I don't allow that on my songs because I want people to enjoy it, listen to it. But you can just send him an email saying, hey man, I love your videos, and I'm also in a band, so if you like the songs, put them in a video, that'd be awesome. And he's done that with 2 of my songs already.
Really?
Yeah.
That's rad.
And
Which 2 songs?
so not the love song I wrote, but YUI has been in a video, and I think my new song, There's Still Time.
I don't think I've listened to the new song yet.
That's okay.
Hey, I'm 100% honest about shit.
Yeah. No, and honesty is a big thing about my music writing. Like if I feel like if there's one word that would sum up the music I want to write, it's honesty. Like if you read the lyrics to my song YUI, it's like I fall so behind. Sometimes I don't know why I try. And that's literally just me writing about how I felt at the time. Like just really like, this is how I feel, so I'm gonna write a song about it. And I feel like that's where I want all my future songs to go.
Yeah.
Is, you know, I just want to be able to like say, hey, I'm a human and I feel things, and I wrote a song about this feeling.
Yeah.
So
I think that's also, like, on the subject of honesty, like, that's one of the most disheartening things sometimes about playing shows is, like, getting off stage and someone saying, like, oh, good set, bro. Good set, good set,
good set.
good job.
Right.
And it's like, it really, you get a little disconnected from people.
Well,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
From, like, other musicians, which is like, there should definitely be more collaborations. And when I started playing music in Denver, like, there were like band friends. You know what I mean? Like bands who would like play together for like multiple shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like that doesn't happen as much anymore. Like Suitable Miss kind of does it. They have some bands that they play with often. But I mean, back in, what was it, 2018, 2019, when we were playing shows with Blueprint, I mean, yeah, like we were friends and stuff like that, but I was a little disheartened by the fact that it felt like a competition with everybody, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's not a competition, like, there's enough room for all of us, just do your own thing.
That's everything. That's not
Yeah.
just music, that's life in general.
Yeah.
Like I said before, there's only one Jay Cook in this entire world, and there's only ever gonna be one Jay Cook in this entire world, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. That's a very special thing. That we all are given a voice, and we all can contribute our unique
Yeah.
voice to the entire world. And whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's running a business, whether it's whatever, we all have something to contribute. We
Yeah.
all fit on this planet. There's room for everybody.
Yeah.
We all have something of value that no one else can give.
Well, yeah, and to bring it back to reflection too, like, if everything's not a competition and like, I mean, no matter what you do, whether it's music, stand-up comedy, even art, like painting and shit, like, if you're so focused on being better than somebody else, you're not gonna have your true potential for what you're doing. And that's like podcasts, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. One day I was just like,
I almost feel like, competition is such a big part of today.
Yeah.
That being able to,
it goes back to the views and like,
Yeah, I
streams
mean,
and shit.
no matter where we go, we're comparing ourselves to everybody.
I mean,
You go on Facebook, you go on Instagram, you go on TikTok, you go on Spotify and look at the number of streams people get. You go on Instagram and look at the number. Instagram got rid of the like feature, but you're still comparing yourself to the people in the picture.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the first to say I'm guilty of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
we all are. It's part of this world as a human being to look at somebody and compare themselves to where you're at.
Yeah.
And, in a band, it's the same way. It's, you listen or you see a band play a set, you're like, I can also do that. Let's
Yeah.
see how well they're doing things, and maybe I can improve myself by watching them.
Learn from them, ask them questions, like, truly be excited about like what they're doing, not be like, well, fuck them, I'm gonna go over here and try and figure it out myself.
Right. I feel like competition and stuff like that is a great learning tool for yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not everything.
No.
Being the best of the best, or trying to beat everybody else,
Yeah.
there's.
Well, Gary Vee, do you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is? Or Gary Vee?
No, I don't.
So he's an entrepreneur and he has like some really good like motivational videos on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
But like he was like an initial investor in Facebook and he talked about missing out in Uber. Just like seems like he's really big on like empathy too. Like his values are very deep. But he has a quote where he says, instead of trying to tear other people's buildings down, build the tallest building. If you want to have the tallest building, stop trying to, tear everybody else's building down.
Right.
So, which I think is, yeah, you just focus on your shit. And I'm also the person, like, whether it's been a job, music, something like that, I've never been afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, ego is, oof.
It goes back to elementary school when they say, you know, when you're on a team, yeah, when you're on a team of something, like you're playing baseball or you're playing football, it's like instead of trying to, you know, tear people down, build them up to where you're at. You know, if they're below you, build them up to where you're at.
Yeah.
And then learn from the people that are ahead of you
Yeah.
and help everybody get to that spot.
Oh, yeah. And I know this is going to sound a little silly, but you know how I play kendama?
Yes.
Yeah, so going to those meetups,
Yeah.
it, like, there's been multiple times where somebody sees me, like, working on a trick, and they come up and they're like, if you do this, blah, 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 like the kendama, like, meetups and stuff, it's all about everybody progressing and everybody helping each other, and
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, there should be more of that in the music scene, for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure, man. We're all here to have fun.
Yeah, people lose that. They lose fun and they lose playing.
Right.
Like, just playing, being
Like,
silly.
Or doing something solely for the enjoyment of it.
Yeah,
You know,
not because you want everybody else to see it.
Right.
You know?
Like not playing guitar because it's cool to play guitar, be in a band, and
Yeah.
you want to like have 1 million streams and be famous and play guitar, but like play guitar for the sake of enjoying it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, and kendama, like that stuff is super cool. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen some videos of you, like, I'm not sure if you posted it like on your story or whatever.
Yeah.
but, like,
Well, I
you've done
started
all these
moving.
tricks.
Yeah. I started moving everything towards just like one channel.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I'm weirdly passionate about it.
It's inspiring to see how much you love
Yeah.
this thing just for the sake of how much you love it.
Yes.
And to go back to Mr. Rogers, he never, like, everyone said, oh, he was such a good teacher. He was such a, like, you know, whatever. Like, Mr. Rogers didn't teach anybody how to do anything. He just loved what he did in front of other people.
Yeah.
Like, he had Yo-Yo Ma on his show one time and play cello.
I didn't know
And
that.
he didn't, like, have Yo-Yo Ma come in and teach kids how to play cello. Like, Yo-Yo Ma came in and played cello
Yeah.
and just loved his instrument in front of other people.
Yeah.
And that's what inspired all these kids to come and learn, and want to learn the cello. And it's this idea that,
I
like,
love a cello.
attitude in the sense of, like, being inspired by something, wanting to do something, having the attitude to want to do something,
Yeah.
that can't be taught. You know, having a good attitude cannot be taught, and it has to be caught.
Well, and also, like, I mean, going back to, like, what other people think, like, you know, I didn't care that if anybody saw me bad at kendama, bad at drums,
Yeah.
bad at guitar, because I was bad at guitar for a very long fucking time. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you don't have to, and one thing I've been guilty of my whole life, and I've started to get over recently is, you know, that whole mindset of, are you proud of me? Are you proud of me?
Yeah.
Did I do this well? Are you proud of me? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it totally goes back to what you were saying, like, you know, just do it for you. Also, I love being bad at things too, and like getting better.
Figuring it out.
Yeah, like, yeah, that's, and a big thing about kendama too is like, or, you know, learning a song on guitar, learning a song on drums, like that sense of accomplishment,
Yeah.
it makes you feel like more confident in your whole fucking life. You know what I mean? Like, you can go out and do things, and you know what I mean? You have the confidence of, like, I did something really hard that not a lot of people can do, and you know, it doesn't have to be like, if you learn a song on drums, like, you just go out and like your endorphins, like you radiate, you know what I mean? Like,
well, you get this like confidence. Like every time I write a song and finish it, I'm like,
yeah. I mean, this is doing it for me because this is my first like in-person podcast. I broke my foot, and I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. You know what I mean? In the studio, just I was a little nervous, but yeah, it feels good to start doing the podcast, and it's cool that you're the first one.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so happy to be here.
So much easier to talk to you than if I would have had like a stranger. I mean,
Yeah.
So, what do you do?
So what do you do, and where are you from, and how do you do what you do?
Yeah, I don't know. I think also the main reason like I don't do headphones is because it seems way more like a conversation. You know what I mean? Like we can kind of hear our voices, but
it's so much more natural to like be
on
a, sitting across from each other, looking each other in the eye, and just being present, rather than like, it's almost like playing with in-ears on.
Yeah.
You know, like it's great because I can hear myself so well.
But there's something about hearing the air and like the monitors and
definitely, and like playing shows, like when I played for Red Rocks Church, we all had in-ears, and it was great for that context because we weren't meant to be center stage. Like when you play for a church, it's like
you have to be all on the same fucking page.
we all have to be on the same page, and it's not about us. It's about, worship, and it's, in that sense, we're not there to perform. We're there to just allow a tool for people to encounter God, which is awesome. But in the sense of like performing with the band, like when I did the Blueprint stuff, we didn't use in-ears, we used backing tracks. The only person that had in-ears on was our drummer, Taylor, just so he could have the click, and then we all followed Taylor. But I definitely noticed that I cut loose a lot more when I just don't have this, and I have that connection to everybody else. Like in the room, I don't feel trapped in my headphones. And it's almost the same thing like when you walk around in public with your headphones on. You're almost like sending a message to the world, like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, I'm here in my headphones right now, and this is my world, and this is where I'm going to be. And when you're on stage, like, you want to have that crowd interaction. Like, you're here to, like, perform for people and to have this music experience with not only the people in the band, but everybody else in the room. So, in the terms of podcast, I like your setup and the setup.
Honestly, I really like this setup more than the last one, just because we're a lot closer, you know what I mean, and you have a comfy chair. But
you might get the budget for another comfy chair one day.
That's what I'm working towards. I gotta get the comfy chair sponsor.
Right, that's the goal.
But yeah, I mean, has it felt like an interview at all?
Yeah.
This has felt like an interview?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you're agreeing that it doesn't feel like
I agree with you that I don't feel like I'm being interrogated.
Yeah. I'm not like running down the list of like, I do want to ask you though, as far as like your plans for the future, you know.
I've taken it really slow to start, and I think I'm gonna continue that just for my own sake. I recently moved away from my parents' house. My fiance and I, we got a place together, which has been amazing. We're right next to her work, but I haven't had a musical setup for like 3 months. Like, I had these 3 songs done, and I put them out, and I have no more music ready to go yet. I have like 30 songs that are just unfinished sitting on my computer.
Dude, you should see that. It is,
But in the sense of like, I'm not trying to be an advertisement, I'm not trying to be a whatever. It's created some inconsistency as far as like putting out songs, but at the same time, it's felt really natural to just take it slow. And that being said, I don't have any plans for any releases at the moment, but that will definitely change in the future. I guess my goal, not to say I don't have goals, But my goals for the year are probably to put out at least 2 more songs before the year's over.
I think this is super positive, like this whole, like the way we're talking about music is because like, I mean, people are gonna hear this and they're gonna know how intentional your music is. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you just, like if you put it out, that means you fucking did your best on it, you know what I mean? Like, I've felt like that about Backseater songs, like, I mean, I have some unreleased songs that nobody has heard yet, because like sometimes you have to come back to them at a later date once you've like maybe discovered a new band or something like that. Like once you're inspired by that song, and then you can like switch the chords around maybe, or the beat.
Yeah, or sometimes you like hit this rut as a musician where like you have this song and it's been so amazing, I just cannot write a vocal melody.
Yeah.
You know, and then you have to abandon the song for like weeks or months and then come back to it and
you have to live life.
Why didn't I have this melody before?
Yeah.
And I feel like it makes the song so much better when you can reflect on the things you've already written and come back to it. Yeah. So I'm just taking it slow. And I really...
Are you gonna do any music videos?
I've done 2. Actually, no, I've done 3 technically. So all my songs have music videos.
I don't think I've seen the videos.
That's okay. And this whole project has been me from the beginning. From guitars, drums, bass, synthesizer, vocals, singing, to the point of recording, producing, mixing. And this most recent song I even mastered myself.
Really?
Yeah, which I know is kind of like a taboo thing to like record.
I mean,
mix,
it's daunting, I think is what it is. Everyone's like, I gotta have somebody else master it.
Yeah, I think producers get so wrapped up in like, it has to be done this way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not gonna sound good.
Yeah.
And same with guitar players. Like, guitar players are like, I have to have that 1957 Tweed Deluxe. And through that 57 Stratocaster. And black and not sunburst because it changes the tone.
You know, it's even worse than that is the people who are like, well, I need I'm thinking of a Marshall half stack right now, or like orange amps. Those are also, I mean, there's nothing wrong with orange amps, but like, like even in, you know, pop punk, people are like, I feel like I need to have this equipment, yada, yada, yada. And when I used to tour with If I Fail, I played through an AC30 with a Telecaster.
Right.
I didn't have the, what is it, an ESP?
There's no right or wrong way to do music. There's no right or wrong way to make things sound good. You just twist knobs, and eventually it's gonna sound good.
You find your sound.
You find it. Yeah. I mean, like, there's no right or wrong. There's no rule book for music. Like, even like if you talk with a music professor, they're gonna be like, you can play whatever notes you want. And that's your music.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, there is structural things that you can learn through music theory and like why certain chords work together more than others. But at the end of the day, notes are notes. At the end of the day, guitars are guitars, amps are amps, you know, speakers are speakers. Like, you can make anything work the way you want. And as long as it sounds good to you, that's what matters. And like, when I write songs, I write the parts I want to write. I mix it the way I think sounds good. I still don't know at all what I'm doing. I'm just like, sure, we'll put compression on there. Sure, we'll EQ it. That sounds a little harsh up there. We'll turn that down. Like, I hear some flubbiness in the bass. We'll cut that out. Like, it's literally just like, what could make this sound cooler? And you twist some knobs and then it sounds cooler or it doesn't. And eventually you just have to let it go. And I feel like all of my songs are like me obsessing over like this part to the next part to the next part to the next part. And writing word to word to word to word, obsessing over literally everything. And then there's a point where it's like, it's good enough. Like you have to take your hands off of it. And that's a big part that I feel like a lot of musicians can't get to. Or especially me, I'm speaking from my own experiences. Like, there's been times where I'll like write a really good song in retrospect. But I never put it out. And I'm like, why didn't I? It sounds amazing the way it is. it's because we get so obsessive, especially over our own art, or I do specifically, where it's like there's a point in time where I have to just take my hands off and just press the send button.
Yeah, because you feel like you have to keep coming back to it, because if you keep doing that, it gets
better and
better and different, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this sounds nothing like that initial like spark that I had. I've done that a lot, where like I have an initial spark for a song, and I start recording it, doing all the things, and then I like put a lead line on it, and then I come back to it, and I compress it, and I go, this is not what it sounded like. The initial spark, like sometimes you gotta just hit that spark and fucking let it fly.
Right?
You know?
And I'm a big believer that everything happens for a reason. And that's a big, like, another learning curve that musicians have to make is like, sometimes the first take didn't go. Like maybe there was like a knock in the background, or the AC unit kicks on, or like you hear some weird noise, but like the energy and the feel of that one take is so special that you just have to use it.
Absolutely.
And instead of deleting it just because, oh, that kicked on, or oh, my mic wasn't plugged in properly. That's what music's about, is finding that spot where it is just so perfect the way you want it to be.
Yeah.
We're not worrying about anything else, just worrying about the song and
taking a step back and like listening to, like making the music that's not in your library yet. You know what I mean?
And caring to the point of not caring. Like caring about your song so much because you want it to be good, but also not caring in the sense that like, I'm not going to let the AC unit kicking on while I'm recording stop me from putting the song out.
Turn up the AC unit,
maybe
that microphone.
Like another one of the artists I've been obsessing over recently, because I don't listen to artists, I obsess over them, is Mac DeMarco. And
that name sounds really familiar.
He's just like this indie guy that he's very similar to, I guess, what I do, in the sense that he, writes all his music, records all his music, but he uses like tape machines and like really
he goes hard on that indie
like
stuff.
he's not on Logic Pro, he's not on Pro Tools, he's like mixing with an analog console type of
cutting the tape.
Right, but that's what he wants to do, and he's gonna make it work that way. And I don't have the budget to do that. Would I like to do that? Sure, maybe. I'd like to try it. But no, that's what he does. And he will literally, like, he wrote a song called Here Comes the Cowboy, and it's 4.5 minutes of just like 2 chords and him saying, "Here comes the cowboy," just over and over for 4.5 minutes. And it's like, there's something to be said about that. Like, literally just vibing over just one sentence of "Here comes the cowboy" in 2 chords and just rolling with it, and caring about the song enough to write it and put it out, but also not caring enough about what people think, because that's not going to be a song that like gets thrown everywhere, that's going to go crazy. It's like, it's a song called "Here Comes the Cowboy." That's the only lyric in the song, and there's only 2 chords in the song.
The only one I can relate it to is Tom Waits' "I Want You." Like he has, I think he has like 1 verse, but I mean, it just basically for almost 2 minutes it repeats, "All I want is you, you."
And there's something special about just like really appreciating that vibe. And just rolling with it for 4 minutes.
Because I mean, if they repeat that, it meant something to them, you know what I mean? Like, "Here comes the cowboy," like, he might have had, like, something, like, I love, like, westerns and stuff like that.
But also at the same time, it could mean nothing.
Like,
but he cared enough.
Supernova.
So he cared enough to write the song, but he doesn't care enough to, like, maybe think too deeply.
It was for him.
He literally wrote that song for himself. I don't see any other way that could have happened.
Oh, definitely.
So.
All right. Well, do you have, what's your biggest piece of advice? I feel like this you know, the podcast is really about advice and passion and everything like that, but what's your biggest piece of advice you would give people?
Oh, man. Take a break.
Yeah,
Like, literally just breathe.
yeah,
Like, spend time with yourself. The biggest advice I've had to learn is, like, how to be comfortable just being and, like,
Yeah.
living a normal life. Like, I live in a 2-bedroom apartment and go to work and go to school. And it's nothing special. It's nothing Instagrammable.
yeah,
But it's real life. And there's joy to be found in that.
yeah,
And that you can enjoy going and getting a coffee. You can enjoy
Yeah.
brushing your teeth in the morning. You can enjoy making your bed. Like, life doesn't have to be this big facade of trying to compete with others and trying to get a new car and trying to work on something. Like,
yeah,
just enjoy where you're at. Enjoy the small things. And take a breather.
yeah,
Like, put your phone down for a minute. Be
definitely.
with yourself. Don't turn on the TV. Literally
Yeah.
just hang out, spend time with yourself, and then go ahead and start your day.
Yeah,
And that's a great, I think that's something I did this morning of like, I'm gonna chill out, hang out with myself, and then I'm gonna come and do this podcast.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I really like that. I mean, that's one thing I've learned because my new direction is just like drums in the podcast.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, backseaters, I have plans for doing a really big like farewell show at the summit.
Nice.
Yeah, so, but also like when I broke my foot and even, you know, yeah, it took a lot of time because I was Jake Cook of the Backseaters. I was Jake Cook the musician. Then it's like, well, maybe I'm just me sometimes. You know what I mean? And sitting with that, not a lot of people want to sit with that. They want to associate themselves like, I'm a mom, I'm this, I'm that. It's like, no, you're just yourself.
We all have accomplishments.
Yeah,
But our accomplishments in part make us who we are, but they're such a small part of who we are.
yeah,
Like, I could go, like, I got my associate's degree. I'm going for my bachelor's degree. I might go further, but that is such a little part of who I am. And same with guitar. Like, guitar, it's something I did growing up. I love it. I love to play guitar, but it's like, this is how much guitar is in my life compared to how big my life is.
yeah,
Like, I am a fiance, I'm a brother, I'm a bartender, we all wear so many different hats.
Yeah.
And we all are so much more than just a musician. We're all so much more than just a drummer or just a bartender or just a guy with a high school degree or whatever. Like, we're all so much more than that. Like, we're all human beings. And Wash Park is like, I guess, a persona of mine, but it's not all of me. It's, you know, these are the songs I write when I feel insecure. These are the songs I write when I feel happy. These are the songs I write when I feel in love. Like, these are the songs I write, and I write them about these feelings. But these songs aren't my life. These songs are about my life.
yeah. Taking a step back from what you do to appreciate who you are.
Yeah. And just being comfortable that, and not limiting yourself to only being a musician. Like, be a good musician, but also be a good friend. Also be a good husband. Also be a good dad. Also be a good bartender. Whatever you do, do your best at it. And
that's probably like taking a step back and that right there, doing everything you're gonna do. Like if you're gonna do something, like you're gonna be a dad, be the best fucking dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Right. And with Instagram, it's like, okay, sure, we have to have these channels of this is me when I'm in a podcast.
Yeah.
This is me when I'm a musician.
Yeah.
But there's also just the me.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
in life. Like the me that goes and gets coffee.
Yeah.
The me that goes and sits on the light rail to go to school.
Yeah.
It's all the same person. But we all, like, we're so wrapped up in this is what I do, this is what I'm special at, that we make it almost our entire personality when it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
We can enjoy other things.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Right on, man. Well, tell everybody where they can find your music and you and everything they want to see, hear, listen to, everything they are going to see, hear, and listen to.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm on every streaming platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube.
Is it 3 separate words or 1 word?
It's 2 words, Wash Park. But if you look me up on like Instagram or Facebook, my handle is WashParkMusic.
Okay.
That's what it is. So,
Okay.
yeah, look it up there. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And if you're indifferent, you're
If you don't like
indifferent.
it, you're a dick.
No, you're fine.
Just kidding. Yeah, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And what song are we gonna play at the end of this?
Ooh, we should probably play Why Do I?
Okay.
Yeah, because that's like, that's the one people come for.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you, Jake. Thanks, man.
And the song's start playing now.
Hell yeah. Sweet. Damn, no,
That's a podcast.
that is a fucking podcast, dude. All right, well, maybe nobody